Today, we're tackling one of the biggest questions any business owner ever asks themselves. How in the world do you get noticed? The marketplace is just so crowded, so full of noise. How do you get your perfect customer to stop, turn their head, and actually listen to you? Well, it all starts with one single, incredibly important question.
This right here, this is it. This is the single most important question your marketing, your entire business has to answer. You've got to realize, every single person thinking about buying from you has this question running through their head, even if they don't say it out loud. And if you don't have a really, really good answer, you're basically invisible.
And that's exactly what we're talking about here, the invisibility problem. Because without a clear, powerful answer to that why you question, you just blend in. You become part of the background noise. To your customer, you might as well not even exist.
And, you know, being invisible has a pretty nasty side effect. When you can't show people why you're different, the only tool you have left in your toolbox is price. You become just another commodity, and that forces you into a brutal race to the bottom. And trust me, that is a race nobody wins. So how do we fix this?
The solution, the fix for this whole invisibility problem, it's something called a USP. Now that stands for a unique selling proposition. And this isn't just some marketing buzzword, it's a strategic tool that's going to make your business pop.
So to put it simply, your USP is what makes you different. But, and this is a huge but, it's not about being different just for the sake of being different. It's the unique value you bring to the table that your ideal customer actually truly cares about. It really is the heart and soul of your entire marketing message.
Okay, let's look at a classic. I mean, the classic example from Domino's. Now listen closely to what they don't say. They don't promise the best tasting, most gourmet pizza on the planet. Nope. They promise speed. They promise reliability. They saw a gap in the market. You know, hungry people who wanted food now, and they filled it with a promise that was powerful and just as important, believable.
And here's another legendary one from FedEx. Again, what are they selling? It's not the cheapest delivery service, not by a long shot. They're selling certainty. They're selling peace of mind. When you have a document that absolutely has to be there, that promise is worth every single penny. It just goes to show you the incredible power of zeroing in on a critical customer need.
So, here's the big takeaway from those examples. A truly great USP is never about you or your company. It's all about your customer. It's got to be focused on a specific, tangible benefit that you can actually deliver on. And look, it's not some fluffy, clever slogan you slap on a billboard. It is the rock-solid foundation of the promise your business makes to the world.
Okay, so now we get what a USP is, and we can see why it's so incredibly powerful. But how do you actually make one for yourself, right? It sounds kind of daunting. Well, let's break it down. We're going to walk through a simple 4-step framework you can use for your own business starting right now. Now, what this whole 4-step process does is it totally flips your thinking. Instead of starting from the inside and thinking, what do I want to sell? It forces you to look at your business from the outside in. You start with what the customer actually gets out of it. You find a little gap that your competitors are totally missing. You solve a problem that everybody hates. And then you wrap that all up in a big, bold, believable promise.
So step 1 really forces you to draw a straight line from your skills to what your customer wants. It's not just about what you do. It's about the awesome result your customer gets at the end of the day. And a lot of the time, that benefit is hiding in plain sight, in an opportunity gap that literally everyone else in your industry is just walking right past.
Okay, now this right here, this is where the magic really happens. Think about it. Every single industry has those common things that just drive customers crazy, right? Long wait times, confusing bills, terrible customer service, you know the list. If you can pinpoint one of those big pain points and build your business around being the solution, you've basically struck gold. That's what lets you make that huge promise that none of your competitors can even touch.
All right, this is the fun part. Let's look at a few real-world before and afters to see how this framework can take a business from totally vague and forgettable to something powerful and absolutely unforgettable.
So check out the shift here. The before is all about a feature. We're the largest. Honestly, who cares? It doesn't mean anything to a parent. But the after, wow, that speaks directly to what a parent is actually buying. They're not buying music lessons. They're buying discipline, confidence, and self-esteem for their child. See the difference? That's a benefit, not a feature.
Now, this is just a fantastic example of fixing what customers hate. Look, we'll fix it or it's free is a pretty good guarantee. But what's the one thing everyone despises about service calls?
It's waiting around all day, right? That huge, vague appointment window? By adding, "we show up on time every time," they took a massive pain point off the table and made their good guarantee a truly great one.
Oh, this is a masterclass in using emotion. The before is fine, it's informative, but the after, it connects on such a deep emotional level. For a parent whose child is being bullied, it is a nightmare. Using that word shows you get it, you understand their pain. And then adding that specific timeline, 3 days or less, makes the promise feel concrete, real, and totally believable.
Okay, get ready for this number. $40,000. That might seem like a crazy number, but that was the average fee for one cosmetic dentist who absolutely mastered his USP. So, how on earth did he do it?
It's actually brilliant in its simplicity. He just made a list of everything people hate about going to the dentist, and then he got rid of it all. Instead of that clinical smell, he had fresh-baked cookies in the air. Instead of a cold, sterile waiting room, he had oriental rugs and a grand piano. He didn't just sell dentistry, he sold a comfortable, luxury experience. And because of that, he could charge prices to match.
So as we start to put all these pieces together, here's the thing you have to understand. A powerful USP isn't just another marketing tactic. It's a core business strategy. It gives you what feels like an almost unfair advantage over everyone else. I mean, think about it. When you get this right, you basically eliminate the competition because you're the only one doing what you do. It gives your entire business absolute clarity. Every marketing piece you write, every person you hire, it all flows from this one idea. It lets you charge what you're actually worth and, maybe best of all, it acts like a magnet, attracting the exact customers you want to work with.
And just remember, it has to be simple. It has to pass what we call the elevator test. If you get into an elevator with someone and you can't explain what makes you special before the doors open on their floor, it's too complicated. You gotta go back to the drawing board. Clarity is everything.
I just want you to let that idea sink in for a second. With a true USP, there's absolutely no competition. When you really set yourself apart based on value that your customer desperately wants, everyone else becomes irrelevant. You're not just playing the game better, you're playing a completely different game, one where you're the only player.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with this one question to really chew on. Look at your business, your skills, your market's frustrations, and the real benefits you deliver. What is the one big, believable promise that only you can make? And more importantly, that only you can keep? Find that, and you'll find your power.